Okay, guys, may I have your attention, please? IELTS listening part 3. In part 3, there are 3 to 4 question types. Number 1, multiple choice, single. Number 2, double multiple choice. Number 3, matching. And number 4, if you are lucky, sentence completion. Okay, these are 4 question types for part 3. Now, questions 21 to 27. What helped Stewart with each of the following stages in making his training film for museum employees? Now, underline helped Stewart. Underline following stages. Underline training film for museum employees. So, what helped Stewart? These are options A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. And stages in making the training film for museum. What are the stages? 21, finding a location. 22, deciding on equipment. 23, writing the script, casting, filming and all that. And they will talk about all these stages one by one. Now tell me, when they give you half a minute, will you read the questions or the options? Because options contain information and options will not be in order. Questions will be in order. You can have this finger on question number 21 when they say it was difficult to find a location. And this pencil will move through the options, right? Now, in the audio, they will not use the same language. They are going to paraphrase it, they are going to rephrase it and all that. I tell you how. Option A, advice from friends. For that, he can say, my mates helped me a lot. Mates, M-A-T-E-S, mates. M-A-T-E-S, mate means friend. Yeah. So, advice from friends, he can use the word, my friends suggested me. My friends advised me. Or with the help of my friend's advice. Wherever he talks about his friend, answer will be A. Option B, information on a website. For this, he can say, I found it on the web. I found it on the website of National Geographic Channel. I found it on the internet. I found it on Google. That is option B. Option C, being allowed extra time. For example, the deadline was 10th December, but my professor was so kind, he gave me 7 days extra. What is that? Being allowed extra time. For example, the test was of 2 hours, but we were given 30 minutes more. Being allowed extra time. Now, extra time can be days, hours, weeks, months, and all that. Option D, meeting a professional filmmaker. Meeting a professional filmmaker. For that, they can say we met a producer. Producer is a filmmaker, so we met a producer. Or we went to the studio where we met a producer. So, meeting a professional filmmaker. Option E, good weather conditions. Now, in order to understand good weather conditions, you need to focus bad weather conditions for filming. Rain is bad weather condition for making a film. Cloud, storm, these conditions are bad. So, good weather condition means it was not cloudy. It was not stormy. It didn't rain on that day. What does it mean? Good weather condition. You know what we do? We wait for good weather condition, and they say, thank God it didn't rain. It was a bright sunny day. So that is good weather conditions. Option F, getting a better computer. For example, if he says, I had Core i3, but they gave me Core i7, 5th generation, something like that, okay? So getting a better computer. Option G, support of a manager. Like first they didn't allow me, then my manager talked to them and then it was okay. So support of manager. Option H, help from a family member. Underline family member. My uncle, my father, my mother, my brother, my cousin, my nephew, my aunt supported me, helped me and all that. Option I, work on a previous assignment. For example, I had done that last year, or I had already completed something related to that. So that is work on a previous assignment. Now, question number 21, finding a location. I play the audio, listen carefully, and when the audio stops, then you have to tell me your answer.
You will hear a tutor and a student discussing a project the student is working on.
Right, Stuart. Well, I've read your draft report on your work placement at the Central Museum Association. Sounds as if you had an interesting time. So you ended up making a film for them?
Yeah, it was a film to train the employees in different museums in the techniques they should use for labelling ancient objects without damaging them. Some of them are really fragile.
OK. So in your report, you go through the main stages in making the film. Let's discuss that in a little more detail. You had to find a location, somewhere to shoot the film.
That took quite a few days because I had to look at different museums all over the country, but I'd allowed time for it. And even though it was the middle of winter, there wasn't any snow, so I didn't have any transport problems.
Right.
It was in the middle of winter, but I don't have any snow problem or transport problem. Answer is E. Now, being allowed extra time, that was one trap here. I'll play this part again.
You will hear a tutor.
Techniques they should use for labelling ancient objects without damaging them. Some of them are really fragile.
OK. So in your report, you go through the main stages.
See that audio went on for around 40 seconds and now they are coming to the point. So if you write your answer before that, in that extra part, then it's going to be a pity. Then all the test will be messed up. Audio will be on question 21 and you will be on 24. So be careful. When they use the word finding a location, listen.
In making the film, let's discuss that in a little more detail. You had to find a location, somewhere to shoot the film.
That took quite a few days because I had to look at different museums all over the country, but I'd allowed time for it.
I've allowed time for it. I've allowed time for it. Listen, try to understand. I have allowed time for it. I was allowed time for it. Got the point? I have allowed time for it. मैंने इसको time दिया. I was allowed time for it. मुझे इसके लिए time दिया गया. Permission. So I've allowed time for it means I gave extra time to it. Myself. It's not passive voice. It's active voice. I've allowed time for it. Now listen.
And even though it was the middle of winter, there wasn't any snow.
Even though it was in middle of winter, there wasn't any snow. Good weather conditions, there wasn't any snow. So the right answer is E. Now, question number 22, deciding on equipment. Now, they're talking about filmmaking. What is the equipment? That camera, mic, lights, this and that. Okay? Deciding on equipment.
Did you have to decide what equipment you'd need for the filming?
Yes, I think they were quite surprised at how well I managed that. It was just the luck of the draw, actually. I'd done that project with you last year.
Oh, on recording technology? So you knew a bit about it from that, right?
Yeah.
I've done that project with you last year. Oh. So it's option I, work on a previous assignment. Answer is I. And one option will be used once only. Question number 23, writing a script. Yeah, writing a script. What is script? Yeah, what they speak in the movie. The dialogues and all that, that's a written script. Writing a script.
What I found really hard was actually writing the script. I had a deadline for that, but the association had to extend it. I couldn't have done it otherwise.
Would it have helped if you'd had some training there?
I think you're right. I probably needed that, yeah.
Okay. C. Being allowed extra time. Now you understand I had a deadline and the association extended that. When they extended the deadline, it means they allowed extra time. Deadline is you have to submit your assignment by Saturday. And extra time is, okay, you can do it by Tuesday. Got it? Yeah, you need to understand. If you are bebas and you don't understand, this sounds like Pashto or Chinese, it means your English has left you. This is not the level of English. So you need to upgrade your English language, then you will understand this audio, not otherwise. I mean, if you don't know swimming and you say, take me to the sea, that'll be the last time you will see the sea. Okay? And then no one will see you. So that's the thing. Anyways, let's go on. 24, casting. Now this casting is related to movies, hero, heroine, other people and all that, heroine, like that.
Now, from your draft report, it sounds as if you had one or two problems deciding who was going to actually appear in the video.
The casting, yeah. I'd expected that the people who worked for the association would be really keen on taking part.
But they weren't?
The thing was, they were all so busy, and it did mean some of them had to travel. But Janice King, who I was reporting to for the project, she was great. She arranged for people to have time off and for their work to be covered, so that was a big help for me.
Right.
G, Janice came, who I was reporting to. Right? She came and she helped me and all that. Support of a manager. For manager, they use the word Janice, and who I was reporting to. Answer is G. Question number 25. Filming. Filming means recording. Now we are filming it. So filming.
And it sounds like the filming itself went well. I gather you found a company who provided an online introduction to the techniques.
Yeah, it was really informative and very user-friendly. I learned a lot from it.
B. Okay, it is information on a website. Please listen to it again.
And it sounds like the filming itself went well. I gather you found a company who provided an online introduction to the techniques.
Online introduction to the technique. So it's B, information on a website. Website and online. They are similar words. Question number 26, editing. Editing. Let's see what do they say about, editing. After making the movie, we just put it in the computer and then we have Adobe Premiere and all that. So let's see what do they say about editing.
And then the editing?
For that, the association put me in touch with someone who works for one of the big movie companies, and I went down to the studio and sat with him in front of his computer for a day, learning how to cut and paste and deal with the soundtrack and so on.
Okay, D, meet a professional filmmaker. I went to the studio and he taught me how to cut and this and that and all that. Those who said F, getting a better computer? No. He learned editing. And for editing, they use the word how to cut and sound effects and this and that. Listen to it again.
And then the editing?
For that, the association put me in touch with someone who works for one of the big movie companies. And I went down to...
someone who works for some of the big movie companies. That is professional. Professional filmmaker. Right? Yeah. Okay, question number 27. Designing the DVD cover. He had to design the cover of the DVD. Now we don't have DVDs anymore. So who helped?
So was that all?
No, I didn't include this in my draft report, but I had to design the cover for the DVD as well. The lettering and everything.
Have you done any of that sort of design work before?
No, but I did a rough draft and then talked it through with a couple of my mates, and they gave me some more ideas, and...
Couple of my mates. Now, couple of mates doesn't mean couple, means two mates. And for friends, they use the word mates. So, correct answer is... Now, have you noticed one thing? None of these phrases were spoken exactly the same. They always reword, paraphrase, and then they see whether you understand English or not. Okay? All right.